60% of roles. So if you're in a job right now where you're kind of doing the same thing, right? Over and over and over, right? You may be automated. You may be automated, guys. I mean, like, it's just what it is, right? Think about where you are within your career right now. You're doing something that is pretty mundane. I don't know if it's picking at a warehouse, if it's driving a forklift, if it's, picking cases, pulling pallets, all that sort of stuff. You already know that the technology is out there that's doing this today. That's why I like to go around the warehouse work stuff because, when I worked in a warehouse and distribution centers, I saw a lot of us in there, right? And don't get me wrong, it pays from an hourly wage perspective very, very well. But that automation is coming, and we have things such as what they consider to be black warehouses. And what it means by black warehouses, it means that the warehouse doesn't have any lights in it, and there's nobody in it, right? And they have fully automated, and that's where the future is going, right? So I like to say this, and I'm going to come out with a video on this, that if you're working in a warehouse, Amazon distribution centers, Alibaba distribution centers, and that's your line of work, and you're trying to make a career out of that, being a picker and so forth, you need to upskill, because if you don't upskill, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to be in a lot of trouble, which is the reason why on this channel we talk about tech. We talk about you getting into tech. We talk about you getting these skills. We talk about you getting into cybersecurity, data science, artificial intelligence, management information systems, and so forth. Because if you don't, you know what? You're going to be hating this technology. If you are in it, you're going to be leveraging this technology and make a whole shitload of money. And talk about this, and talk about this. And before we get there, AI and me, Brother Doug, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much for dropping through. I appreciate you for the $10 super chat. I'm going to hit the super chats real quick before we get there, because I want you to talk about the money. And then we hit another topic here. Talk about the money. Let me just call out the super chats real quick too, brother AI and me. Give me 1 second. We got Aston. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, my man. Aston James says, good morning, BH. Here to support and take in this knowledge. I appreciate you. Brother Nix, our Mr. Nix is in the house. He said, you can't automate the systems engineer and server administrator. We would be the Maytag repairman of ChatGPT. You're absolutely right. I love it. I love it, man. Mr. Nix is in the house. He brought up a good point. You know what? Systems engineers. ChatGPT is relying on these systems, right? ChatGPT is more of an algorithm that goes into it, but repairing those systems, making sure those systems are up and running, they need systems engineers. Very good point.
Network engineers, a lot. In short, when I was automating, I asked the same question: do you think they can automate a chef? Because again, profit. One of the biggest things in terms of automation is profit. And a restaurant. So there's this restaurant I was looking into. The guy was a pit master. He had the best ribs. I mean, the ribs will fall out the bone, best ribs. And the person, he could only be in one place. But we wanted to automate him to be in 12 places because he had the best ribs ever. So how can we automate him to be in 12 places? So again, what we did was simple. The goal wasn't to be the best of him, but the goal was to be as good as him. The robots will cook as good as him, but it's not to be him. It's just to be as good or even a little bit as good as him so we can sell the food. So what I did was I went and looked up 50 of the best pit masters and looked at if they had cookbooks. Their cookbooks were their data. So I used his data, basically measurements. You have to take your measurements. Like when you say a pinch of salt, you got to say, what does a pinch mean? Does it mean a teaspoon? So that's what I did with his recipe. Then I looked at 50 different recipe books with the best pit masters and took their data and correlated everything to come up with 10 different recipes from theirs, and then tested it to make sure each of those recipes were as good or even just as good as his, so we can then use robots and then sell it into 12 different places. And that's what is being done. You're taking people who are already giving you data. There are a lot of cookbooks out there of chefs.
That's right.
You take 100 cookbook of chefs. you could come up with the best 10 of the best sources you can come up with,
Mm,
and the measurements, and then automate robots to do it. This is what it
mm.
is going on. It's not. People think ChatGPT is no, it's data, and the data that's available already available. Cookbooks. You can take 50, 100 cookbooks, come up with recipes. And again, if you want a robot to cook a meat, medium rare, because again, meat is either cooked well done, medium rare, and rare. I take 100 and 200 or 5,000 pictures of what medium rare is, and teach my robot this is what it is, and it cooks it based on the picture, object identification.
Mm.
So I said, this is what medium rare is. The robot says, okay, this is the picture you sent, and I've learned that this is medium rare, and it
Even
learns
based
from
on
those
temperatures
pictures.
because it has sensors in it as well
Based
too.
on temperatures, so you have temperature, you have object detection, because again, everything sensors again is measurements, is data, and that's what they do,
Mm,
and
mm,
that's how they perfect cooking.
mm, mm,
So if you think a cook cannot be automated, believe me, it can. It's
Well, check this
data.
out. Check this out. Brother Kamal coming to us from Japan says, here in Japan, many restaurants no longer employ servers. Robots take orders and bring customers their
Yeah,
food. Look at that. Look at that.
yeah.
Servers. I'm starting to see a lot of that online as well too, where you got robots, taking people their food. I haven't seen that very much in the Texas town that I'm in right now, but in some of these advanced places, you
I
got little
proposed.
robots dropping food off.
Yeah, I proposed something that will make it better. So, for instance, if your robot is dropping food off, it can also act as an entertainment system for your kids.
Mm, mm,
So it's coming in, it's saying, oh, hey, what's your menu? Your kids like Coke and all that. Oh, do they want to watch Coco Melon? Do they
mm.
want to watch this as they're going? Oh, okay, yes. While your parents are there trying to order food in a peaceful manner, your kids are enjoying entertainment.
Yep.
Or if it's a sports bar, instead of everybody watching one big screen TV, you have your own TV watching sports game and eating your wings with your friends. The robot is taking your order and doing that same thing. It's automation.
Mm, mm.
Automation to make it efficient and better.
We talk about this, brother AI and me, right? What's up, Ladder Climbers? It's Antoine Wade. I wanted to interrupt this video to talk to you guys about Course Careers. Course Careers is the place that you guys need to go if you have a high interest into tech sales. They will help you gain the skills that you need so that you can enter the tech sales world to make a whole bunch of money. Tech sales salaries early on is about $60,000, guys. That's a good salary. And with OTEs, you can make anywhere from $85,000 to $90,000. If you have an interest in tech sales, check out Course Careers, link in the description. And don't forget to use Antoine50 so that you can get a $50 discount off of Course Careers. See you guys in tech sales. How can people get to the money with this? What's your thoughts, man? How can people get to the money with all this sort of stuff? Get some ideas of, things that people can do, man. Like
The money's
talk
here.
about it.
The money in automation is here. I mean, for data analysts, any data analyst, from everybody's talking about HR being automated. Yes, it's being automated, but what are the driving force of those automation? It's data. And I've seen human resource analysts make 180, 200,000 just learning basic analytics
Mm,
and provide data to that AI. They provide data to the AI because they know the field, they know what's wrong, and they pick out raw data. Human resource, 200,000.
mm,
Machine learning experts in human resources, 300,000.
mm.
I've seen machine learning engineers, data analysts, everybody. They make a buttload of money. I've seen people in the health industry, the fashion industry, making buttload of money trying to figure out what people will wear, what people will like
Mm.
with data. Machine learning, I've seen people in Nike. Data is in every industry. In every industry, they make a lot of money. I've seen, and again, most of the time they only require like 3 years experience, like machine learning, and you make 220,000, 300, 400,000. I've seen people make a lot of money. And again, it starts with understanding data analytics, data science, data all that, and they make a lot of money. And not only can you make money, not only on the job, but on the side too.
That's what I want you to hit.
Consulting,
Hit on that. Hit on that piece of it right there.
consulting, teaching. How many businesses will call you just to consult on how to automate a system?
Mm.
restaurants, every offices. And again, automation is not just introducing robots, but also introducing software. It's different areas of automation. Automation is not just one way. Even stocks. Oh, recently, some I think it was a scam, but it was a bad scam. Somebody created a chat bot that can predict stocks, and they sold it, and they made up to 4 million. They sold it to the public, but the problem was that bot was 4% efficient,
Mm,
but they made up to 4 million with a 4% efficient chat bot that could predict stocks.
mm, mm. That's crazy.
And because people didn't understand what was going on, he could make that much money.
Right.
So again, even stocks right now, in the stock market, a lot of banks are paying for quants, people who actually predict stock markets and all that. This is what machine learning and all that is doing. Be able to predict stocks. It's in every industry right now.
So talk about
There
this.
isn't any.
Talk about this
Sure.
about the AI and me, right? So, I look at it like this now. With tools like this, the information is out there. So you don't necessarily need to be a super expert in this field. Yes,
No.
you want to have knowledge, but being an expert in this field, leveraging something like ChatGPT, there's really like endless possibilities for you to make money, right? When I think about it,
Yeah.
like all you got to do is put yourself out there, build a brand. Now you're
Yeah.
known someone as an expert in that space because you have some knowledge, and then you can apply your knowledge into, dumping it into ChatGPT to gain even more knowledge or to help people in certain areas because you are considered to be the subject matter expert, which allows for you to consult, right? It allows for you to
Yeah.
consult, and people are going to be like, okay, well, how can I do this? How can I do this? How should I do this? How do I do this? You're basically giving that information to ChatGPT and getting answers and getting paid for it.
Yeah. So you don't need to be you don't really like right now. I always tell people you don't need to have that much knowledge. Again, so much knowledge that the questions and answers are already in there.
Mm,
ChatGPT gives you those information. They
mm.
already have a library. Again, recently ChatGPT just passed the medical exams.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
they passed the medical exams. Imagine ChatGPT. So they are licensed to recommend you drugs and all. So again, ChatGPT. Again, doctors. Do you think doctors are not using ChatGPT right now? Lawyers use ChatGPT. Again,
Yes,
the industry of law is the industry of the administrative side of law, the research side of law. ChatGPT is basically taking over. Law, medical research now. If I want to know what affects your spleen, and I have different scenarios, I just plug into ChatGPT. Again, it passes a medical license, so
yep, yep.
I can ask. So that's what ChatGPT is a big. It gives you that information in your fingertips,
Yes, it does.
and
Yes,
that's
it
what we
does.
need. That's what we need to utilize. We have a amount of information in our fingertips, and in an instant, and we can use that to make as much money and answer questions as possible.
I love it.
So again, you don't need to be an AI expert to utilize it. You just need to know your own expertise and how you can use ChatGPT to enhance and make your own expertise more efficient.
I love it.